Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do my Zodiac Panner update. This is no longer a Fantastic Ladies collab, but it was last year. It was a project pan created by Caena, Caena's Closet. I have all the details linked in my description, but basically it was a project pan to do with all of the zodiac signs. And so you have 12 different prompts, and all the prompts were colors that correlate with that star sign. So this year I decided to do it again. I changed a few of the colors depending on what I read up online about certain star signs, but otherwise a lot of them are very similar. And yeah, I've been working on eyeshadows. You don't have to do eyeshadows in this project pan, but a lot of people did do eyeshadows because obviously it kind of makes sense if you're picking a color, you want to pick an eyeshadow, but I know a lot of other people did not. So I did my intro last month. This is my first update for the new roll-in for this year. And I actually have 3 pans, which is kind of crazy. I don't know what it is about this project, but I seem to hit pans in this one. So we're off to a really good start, I would say, a really good start. But I think I've also been quite lucky with the shades that I've been rolling in for myself. Maybe I'm rolling in easier shades. So there is a little bit of that. It's not completely blind like Pan Those Eyeshadows is, where you roll in some pretty hard shades, you're kind of stuck with it. So yeah, this one, I don't really mind. It's going well so far. And so that means I will actually have 3 new shades I'm going to be rolling in today. So let's get started. So the first one is Aries. So I picked a red, and that was the same color that was picked in the project last year. I actually picked a red from my Yasmin palette from Myali Beauty. You can't get this palette anymore. The brand doesn't exist, but I like this palette, so I like to pick it. And I picked this color Bark. Obviously, I have no pan in there, as you can see. I've only used it the once. There are definitely shades that I have not touched at all this month, so the fact that I got 3 pans is kind of shocking to me. I did really neglect a lot of the shades in this project, but it's fine, it worked out. But yeah, only used it the once, haven't used it nearly enough to get a pan because these are very firmly pressed. I think that one is probably going to be in the project for the whole year, but we'll see. All right, next up we'll go to Taurus, which is a pink or a white. I picked a white from my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde, and this is my first pan that I want to share with you. So this one I used 3 times. I also have it on today, and it is this shade here called Super Moon. It's a really crumbly, pretty shade, but quite an easy, creamy shade to hit pan on. So I think this was one of the ones where I kind of got lucky. It's not a super hard shade to hit pan on, but yeah, I've hit pan on that one, which is really exciting. And this palette looks way more loved than it ever did, which I'm even more excited about. So this shade now will be rolling out. Next up, we've got Gemini, which is a green, and this is my second pan to share with you. So I've been working on a green in my Techni days from Beauty Bay. It is another shimmer, and again, it is another shade that's pretty creamy and crumbly, as you expect from Beauty Bay, but I think these pans are incredibly shallow from what I've seen. This is what I rolled in, and you can see, I mean, it's so shallow in there. I was not expecting to hit pan on it. When I did, I only used it the twice. I had used the shade a few times prior to that, so it wasn't my first time using it, but I was actually pretty shocked that I hit pan in it so easily. I do use my finger with this, but yeah, I just thought that was pretty crazy. So that one is also going to be rolling out. Then we've got Cancer, and those colors were either blue, white, or sea green. And actually I picked a color in the same palette, which is the acid shade right next to that other one, which is right here, the sea green. So this one, obviously I have not hit pan on. I've used this one 3 times since I rolled it in. I actually had this as a focus shade as well, but then it stopped being a focus shade come May time, if that makes any sense to you. So in April it was more of a focus shade, and then I know I started the project then, but then this month I've only used it 3 times. So I had a little bit of a dip in it, if that makes any sense. I don't think that will, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think this won't take me very long to hit pan on, since I've seen how shallow these are. I think these are way more shallow than the big, the full sizes, which kind of makes sense why this was so cheap. But it is what it is. They're still beautiful. But yeah, I think I could definitely hit pan on it next month if I use it. Alright, next one is Leo, and this is an orange, and I picked an orange from my Nomad Cartagena Magica palette, and I picked this orange in the center right here. I do have an orange that I'm working on in my Pan Nose eyeshadows, so it kind of clashed a little bit, but I have used it twice. I think this will probably take me a few months to hit pan on, not because the shade is particularly hard to use, just because I have the Pan Nose eyeshadow shade, and also because I don't know, I think there's quite a bit of product in here, so we'll just have to wait and see. It's like a kind of very mid-tone orange that I don't really use all that much, and I haven't done that many orange looks recently, but I imagine I will more come summer, which is where we are. So hopefully I can get pan in that in the next couple months. Then we've got Virgo, which normally is like browns and greens, but I decided to go with peach, mauve, light blue, or light pink, because those are kind of all colors that spark some sort of emotion and joy from Virgos, apparently. I don't know, that's what I read, so I just went with it because I wanted a little bit of variation in this. I felt like there was a lot of colors that were similar to each other, so I kind of wanted to add a little bit of variation just to make it more fun to be able to pick different colors. And because they had specifically peach for Virgo, I thought that was fun, and I picked the Miss Bliss because there's a lot of peachy tones in here, and I picked Palo Santo right here. This one I have obviously no pan in there, but I think, let me just see, how many times did I use it? I used it twice. Beautiful shade, but I just haven't used it enough. And like I said, I've kind of massively neglected a lot of eyeshadows this last month, but still managed to use some of them, which is good. I don't think this is going to take me that long to hit pan. I know it's Colourpop, but this is old formula at this point, and I feel like with the old formula it gets a little bit crumblier and there's a lot more fallout, and this is quite a creamy shade, so I think I could definitely hit pan in this within maybe 2 to 3 months if I obviously use the shade more than twice. Right, then we've got Libra, which is a blue. I picked a blue from my Club Nebula palette. I picked Astro, but unfortunately I have not touched it once, so this one was completely neglected and there's nothing to show you. Then we've got Scorpio, which is a purple, and I picked a purple from my Novena palette from ABH, and this is the shade Celestial. And this one I used once. I feel like I used it twice, but I've only written it once. So as you can see, obviously no pan, and you know, it's nowhere near close. I honestly find it hard to hit pan in these. I don't know how people find it so easy to hit pan in the ABH formula. For me, it takes forever. So this might take me a good long time. I probably should have used it today. I just didn't think about it. Then we've got Sagittarius, so that is a yellow, and I picked a yellow from my Nomad palette, the Tokyo palette. This one was a shade that I already had in the Zodiac Panner Project Pan last year, and I wanted to roll it back in this year because I was so close. I had a really nice dip, and it is the shade Mel Tea Room right here. And as you can see, I have a big, shiny, beautiful pan. I used it twice. Yeah, I used it twice this month. But yeah, really big pan. I actually had, what happened was it was so thin at the bottom there, so finally when I hit pan there was so much product that came off because I was literally there. I just didn't realize it. But anyway, yeah, that's fun. So that one will be rolling out, so that's my third pan that I hit. Then we're going to go to Capricorn, which is a navy blue, and I picked a shade from my Odin's Eye. This is the Alva 2 Mini Ocean palette, and I picked this shade right here. I think this is actually quite a nice blue. I'm not a huge fan of these palettes, but I do like this blue. I've only used it the once though, but I do think there's a little bit of dent to it. So I actually kind of hopeful that I could hit pan in this not too far in the distant future. So that is pretty cool. Then we're going to go back into the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. I have another shade I've been working on for Aquarius, and this is the sort of turquoisey shade over here called Haze. And this is another shade that I had in my project last year, and I rolled it back into this year, but I've only used it the once. So obviously there's no change to it. And then the last shade is for Pisces, and I picked a yellow from my BH Cosmetics Summer in Saint-Tropez, and I picked the shade Intoxicating down here. This one I have used twice, I believe. Yes, twice in the last month. and I think it won't be too long before I hit pan. I think it's probably another month or two and that it'll be done. These are not too hard to hit pan on. I think I hit pan on this one pretty easily. So yeah, just need to do a few more yellow looks with this and I'll be good to go. So those are all of the pans that I've been working on. As I said, I'm going to be rolling in three new like shades to work on, since I have those 3 that I have hit my goal on. So to make it easy for myself, I'm not rolling any new eyeshadows, like eyeshadow palettes in. I'm just going to, I try to look to see what palettes I have already out and if there's any shades in there that kind of would work. So for the first one, we're going to go to Taurus. And this is a pink or a white. So I'm actually going to pick the white. It's like a white iridescent with a pink flip in the Club Nebula, and I think that would be perfect. It's the shade Nova down here, and I would like to hit pan in this. It's also got a lot of blue to it too. I don't know, I just think this would be a fun one. So this one's going to be rolling in for Taurus. Then for Gemini, we want a green. So I actually want to roll this palette in. This is the Urban Decay Stone Vibes. And I would like to hit pan in the Jade shade. I don't think it's going to be too hard. I already really like this shade. And I like this formula. And it's already creamy. And I have a pretty good dip in it. So I don't think this is going to take me very long. And it'd just be nice to get another pan in this palette. So this one I'm going to be rolling in for Taurus. And then the last one I'm going to be rolling is for Sagittarius, which is a yellow. I could have picked quite a few shades, but I decided to go with the Nomad Fête de Provence. I've kind of neglected this palette quite a bit, and there is this really beautiful, I mean, I do kind of like the yellows, but there is this beautiful shimmer yellow in here, and I would like to use it and hit pan on it. So this one obviously has a flip to it, but it's definitely like yellowy gold. Sometimes it has a little bit of green to it. It's a weird shade, but I kind of like it. So this one I'm going to be rolling in for Sagittarius. And that is my update. So that is very exciting. 3 new pans, 3 new shades rolling in. Am I going to hit any pans for next month? I don't know. Actually, yeah, maybe. I think I could definitely hit pan in this shade if I do some more green looks, because these are very, very shallow. Aside from that, ooh, I might not hit pan actually, to be honest, in any of the other ones, but we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to see what kind of color stories I end up using for the next month. It kind of depends on that, and also how my other projects are doing. I just neglected so many projects this last month. This one was put on the back burner, but luckily I had those 3 shades that just didn't have a lot of product to them for some reason, and I was able to hit pan. So kind of a fluke this month. I don't think next month will be the same, but you never know. This is why I love this project. I seem to do okay with it. But yeah, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!